Hello, everyone, and welcome to Thursday. I hope you're having a lovely week. I hope you've gotten through it all well and safe and everything so far. I hope the worldwide IT outage has not affected anyone too greatly. And I hope you're all looking forward to the weekend. I'm probably not going to babble too much before switching over to the prep today, as I have zomboid in just, basically could be as soon as Voraktee switches over. I think I have 3 hours, but it could be 1. So we're just gonna, get right into it and go. The only bit of babble I have is that I'll probably be streaming the Path of Exile League launch tomorrow, or either here or in Discord. Not 100% sure which. Discord is the best place to see if when and where I am doing that. You'll get an alert, an announcement in the announcements channel. So there's that. And then yeah, I mean the only other, your microwave has gained sentience. That's amazing. I apologize for talking so much smack about it in the past. That's my microwave and we have not always gotten along on the best of terms. In fact, my microwave seems to be losing power a little bit. It's not warming up food as quickly as it used to. In terms of the long-term comparison, the long-term data collection, used to be put the hot pocket in there for 2 minutes and it explodes. And now you put the hot pocket in there for 2 minutes and it's still a little bit cold in the middle and it doesn't explode. So either the hot pockets have changed or the microwave is losing a bit of power and needs to be replaced soon. But if it's gotten sentience, that might, maybe we'll keep it around. Maybe. All right. As I said, we're going to jump. It's good to see you, Sentient Microwave. Thank you for stopping by and saying hello. We are going to jump right into the prep, right into the recap, really, and then the prep, as we are a little bit short on time. The short version of my life is, got a lot of work this week, which is great, and the air in Denver has turned into a toxic wildfire smoke cloud smog machine. So my dog and I have been stuck inside. He's not delighted about that. Jan 22, yes. Yes, I remember that name. I was like, 34 messages, really? I don't recognize this name. I didn't. That makes sense, though. Welcome back. Excellent new name. It looks good on you. Set the flag for the recap. Last we left our party. Last we left the monsters. They had found their way into a place called the Rotunda, which is more or less a prison for gods. A prison for these forgotten gods that used to rule the world before the gods from beyond the stars came and effectively took over the world. The discovery on why that happened is a large part of this campaign, the events leading up to these 4 gods from beyond the stars arriving on this world, taking it over, sealing away all the old gods who used to live here. That's a big discussion as part of this campaign. The party, they were looking for a god of nightmares. I was expecting the Metroid music here to be a little bit more moody. We'll try the piano version, so it's less lo-fi. This'll do. They sought out the prison of the goddess of nightmares known as Mauritan. A god forgotten to time. All they knew was that they were an owl. They were known by a few different names, the Feather of Dusk. Some of this cult that they were looking into thought that maybe Mauritan was a god of fear, but they have found out that she is in fact a goddess of nightmares. And they know that this cult, the being this cult worships, who is on the way to the world, he speaks to his members through dreams, through nightmares. Kind of can pull information out of dreams and plant information into the heads of his followers through dreams and nightmares. So they thought maybe they wanted to, maybe this cult wanted to recruit this goddess as a means of enhancing this god's power, which is pretty close to the truth. They were onto a good lead there, on a good track. So with this in mind, they descended into the realm of Mouritan. They opened the prison within which she was sealed. They entered and they found the first room to be the basement of an inn. They tried to find some information on where and when this inn was, and the like writing on the barrel wasn't very like forthcoming. It kind of just like formed a picture based on what the person looking at it kind of expected. They kind of saw these broken barrels of this very deep red wine, this very crimson wine. One of them braved taking a sip. Tasted totally fine. Tasted great. Tasted like a good, well-aged wine. They moved on, started going through this kind of creepy hallway filled with branches and roots and spider webs, and they found the person who had taken a taste found that actually the aftertaste was a little bit irony, a little bit metallic, maybe suggesting that not all in here is as it seems. They quickly started to figure out that actually this place, being the realm of a nightmare god, was kind of a living, twisting nightmare that reacted to their expectations and their thoughts and mood. And they soon found that it was a nightmare not of their making, not of their dreams. It wasn't their nightmares. It was this god Mouritan. It was her nightmares. They walked into this grove of strange, unbloomed plants. Plants that were similar to plants they had seen before, these carnivorous plants that act as the minions of the coming savior, the unseen seraph, this entity that the cult worships. They saw these plants in here, thought, uh-oh. And then Mouritan's voice came to them, echoed through the walls, said something along the lines of they come for me. I am doomed to be found, doomed for another cage. This kind of thing. These plants bloomed into swarms of plants, swarms of these carnivorous plants that then attacked the party. The party defeated the plants. They got a little bit of... after they defeated them, Mouritan is like, more will come, more always come. They've waited 10,000 years. They will find me. The party said something along the lines of, we can stop them. We can help you fight them. We can protect you from them. And this was the first moment when the dream started to kind of shift around them. They felt something shaking beneath their feet. They heard the grinding of earth, which would turn out to be this chasm up here, kind of closing and a bridge kind of being formed. So they backed out of that. They were like, we are no less confused at the moment. They still saw this chasm. They knew that if they tried to like jump across this chasm, they were going to have trouble getting across. They took a peek into here and they saw kind of an ancient version of the Moonlight Pools, this place where the cult had holed up out in the real world. In this dream world, it was the roosting place of followers of Mouritan, of her people, she called them. Party did not poke their head in quite yet. Instead, they went up here into the chasm room. I had a wall here, and I just said, like, you know, we have an imperfect map here. So I had a line of sight blocker across this chasm, and I said, you see just a black void across this chasm, but they'd solved kind of the first nightmare of Mauritan. So I said, off in the dark, you can see, very far away, there is another cliff, much like the one you were standing on. There is this little footstep of rock leading out that way, but it is not complete. So one of the party members said, I'm going to try to walk across. I'm going to try to just take a step. And I said, sure. Do you just let yourself fall? Do you like fully step into this step? And they said, yes, I do not try to catch myself. So they tumbled over the edge and they fell into the dark. And I said, at some point, you stop feeling like you're falling. We're going to speed up the recap here a little bit. You stop feeling like you're falling. And then you have a vision. You have a vision of this god who is responsible for the curse giving you your powers. It was Isha that fell down the Oracle of Time who fell down the hole. So the goddess responsible for her powers showed up and said, let me relieve you of this burden, of the weight of the future that you carry, and like waved her hand. And Isha, whose face is already like a perpetually disintegrating pile of dust. It's a very interesting character. All of Isha started to turn to dust and crumble into this pile. And I said, once the vision ended, Isha appeared over here. So effectively got like fell down this chasm and got teleported over here mostly. Isha looked around kind of confused. Another person kind of like jumped in. There was like a little bit of a back and forth. Someone else jumped in, got another nightmare. Was the idea. You fall in here, you get a vision, you get a nightmare. In general, if you like failed the mechanics in here, you were gonna get a nightmare. That was the idea. So another person fell. I don't remember who it was. But another person fell down the chasm. The rest of the party kind of came back. Oh yeah, it was Turris. Turris had his familiar fall down, but the familiar, not the familiar, this is a summoner, so it was Construct, his Construct companion. Fell down, ended up here, didn't get a vision himself, because I don't know that much about Aincrad. I'm going to assume that he was immune to this kind of effect. Probably immune to having nightmares. Wound up here, saw that Isha was here, saw that it was the same chasm as before. The party reversed, came over here. Saw that falling down the chasm, you end up over here. So a bunch more went back and like jumped down. They kind of found out that they could actually just like leap across now. Now that some were across, they could just leap across this gap. Mauritan wasn't trying to keep them away anymore. So a couple of them did that, and then a couple more went back and were like, I'm gonna go fall for the novelty of it. I had one party member who was kind of like standing on the edge, and they said, I'm looking, I'm trying to see anything in the void. I'm like, great, roll me a perception check. Rolled a perception check, said what they saw, and I was like, by the way, roll me a will save. And they were like, oh boy. And failed the will save, and I was like, you start to lean over. And you feel this sense of dizziness and vertigo, and go ahead and roll me a reflex save. They rolled a reflex save, they failed that, and they fell into the void. And they got their own vision. That one was probably the most important. Well, not even important. I just liked all the visions. I just had a good time with the visions. Scene of Auction, the Bard, named after Scene of Action music here on Twitch, had a vision about basically fame. It was like the "you die 3 times" saying, only with a little bit of a twist of it being like the last time you die is the last time someone sings your song. And then like it was Isha saying this, and his bandmate like popped out of Isha's dust face and said the end part of like, have they already sung your song for the last time? Are they anything without us? And maybe the most emotional I've seen the Scene of Auction character was after he popped out of this nightmare, this vision, and was like, tell me they haven't sung my song for the last time. Tell me it wasn't the last time. Tell me they'll sing my song again. So there was that. Steris, the Medusa, whose family was kind of like slain by a bunch of adventurers. Steris's was easy, to be honest. Steris has this power of vengeance sight, essentially. where you can see the closest person who's wronged you at all times. I've described it as like this orange glow. So I said when Steris was peeking over the edge of this cliff that Steris saw this orange glow, this orange humanoid shape walking toward them, holding like a cleaver in one hand, dripping with blood. And I just, like, at the last moment, I went, like, really grim with it. And I, like, had a thought, and I forced myself through it. And it seemed to be, the player after the game was like, that was great, that was excellent. So I'm glad I did. But I was like, in their other hand, they are holding a shape, just a lump. And as they get closer, you can see that this lump is actually a head. Held by the hair. Only the hair isn't hair. And for the Medusa-like character, for the Steno, she immediately picked up what that meant and was like, oh my god. I think it seemed like she really enjoyed that scene. We've got a couple, Turkhan, the Minotaur Barbarian, didn't have a nightmare here, because he just like leapt in right after Steris, and I was like, that seems like something that required no little resolve, so go ahead and give me a will save if you want. Turkhan avoided the dream, and Stu did not jump down at all. Turris, the dungeon character, had a dream about the siege weapons that they'd seen attacking the town nearby. So, at the end of that, they all ended up over here. I think that went great, by the way, the visions. It's like, takes a bit of, not even confidence, because I was nervous the whole time, but it takes a bit of just like, of just doing it to like, be like, I'm gonna give you all your own little visions, and if it falls flat, it falls flat, but I'm gonna try, and I'm gonna make them these, you know, these dramatic things, and what happens will happen. The people who like it will like it, and whatever. So I'm sure that like Moto didn't care that much. I'm sure a couple of them didn't care that much, but I think Konnor, aka the Scene of Auction, and I think Sarah, aka Steris, I think both of those players enjoyed the scenes in particular. So I'm glad I did it. And Turris had Voraktee had a laugh. Had a little laugh when his dream was about siege weapons hitting him. Since he had put such a fine point on that recently. So the whole party ended up over here. All that to say, I just like lean into this stuff sometimes. It can feel a little like if you're writing this weird kind of vision, very like descriptive kind of like poetry about these visions and stuff, just like lean into it sometimes. Just stick it out. And it's fine if it falls a little flat. It's fine. Even if it's not effectual for the players, even if they're not like all heart to flutter from like kind of this strange thing that their character is going through, a lot of them can like still dig into that and use it for their character, even if the player is not like literally like, you don't have to give them goosebumps is what I'm saying. So party ended up over here as I had described before. One of them, one god that they'd already met, a dead god that they'd already met, named Vesgal, was sitting over here. And down this way was this nest. And these two were a related nightmare. They were really the same nightmare. Mauritan thought that Vesgal had, like, betrayed her, had left her eggs, her nest, her people to be attacked and hunted and slaughtered, when really Vesgal was already dead. The party revealed that and tried to comfort Mauritan, and that was enough, really, to overcome this nightmare, give them the boost to the end of the dungeon that we haven't actually seen yet, and to get another little ground rumble as this bridge extended further. They also found a bit more loot. Every one of these nightmares just has a bit of loot. Here was an egg called Unbroken that reduces the effects of fear. Did I give? I meant to. Might have a bit of loot here that I need to give out. I think I maybe didn't hand it out. Because Turkhan was the one that went up and got stabbed by the sword. Tattoo cast, first rank. Yeah, We might give Turkon the Faith Tattoo for getting stabbed. It might heal over and turn into this tattoo, but we'll see. Which just gives a little bit more healing for the party. The tattoo casts harm, heal, or the first rank spell from your deity's cleric spells. If the deity allows either spell, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if this gets upcast. Huh. I mean, I suppose this would be incredibly strong if it did get upcast, if it was an 80 gold thing that was effectively a wand of heal that, like, scaled with you. That'd be pretty wild. Is this a consumable? No. Yeah, it's just a tattoo. Okay. Interesting. I'm curious about this. I'll look into the Faith Tattoo and see if it scales. I could just say it does, but we'll see. Anyway, so that was the Nightmare of the Eggs. Next, they came and came over to where Mauritan's people were roosting. The roost in the Moonlight Pools. And they saw a vision of someone else they know, this deity known as Anha, the god of riddles. Thought to be a god of truth by the cult, but was actually a god of riddles. Saw a vision of Anha arriving, getting, like, shot with arrows, and Mauritan saying, like, did my messenger arrive? Did my people escape, or were they hunted and killed? And the party again said, like, it's entirely possible that Anna didn't succeed, but Anna's alive, and we have Anna with us. So we could find out if you come with us. And that Mauritan was intrigued by that. So all of this was enough. They got like some stuff that makes you run fast and stay hidden easier from this. So with all of that, this gap closed all the way. This bridge formed. The party was able to cross with no trouble. And they saw the last nightmare, which was this hallway with all of these blackened bark branches that started to kind of swing at the party as they approached. And they effectively just kind of brute force their way through. They said, like, all right, we're just gonna, like, smash and go. And then they missed, like, one of the branches clawed at one of the players, and it was a little bit of a health thing. They found at the end, what I should have done differently here, I just said, like, they saw this interesting bramble device at the end. What I should have done is have it, like, I should have waited on this. It's the bramble astrolabe. I should have had it just sitting here when they turn around, is what I should have done, instead of being like, oh, you see it at the end of the hallway. It feels a little contrived. It's a little more mysterious if it's after they deal with Mauritan, after this fight happens, and they turn around and they start to leave, and, like, all the brambles are gone, but the bramble device is there. The astrolabe. That is what I should have done there. But, you know, it's fine. So they got into this last room, and they found Mauritan was in this egg thing. There. This kind of gross, veiny, weird, nightmarish egg. Mauritan was curled up in it. Which I think I'm going to re-describe a little bit. Yeah. We'll give a little more context to that after this. But, so Mauritan was in this egg and said, like, basically said, go, leave me to my nightmares. Do not disturb me further. Why do you persist? And the party approached, started to say some stuff, and this manifestation of nightmare that I'm searching for. There it is, the Nightmare Manifest. This boy appeared behind them and started attacking them. Kind of the coalescence of all the nightmares. They didn't have any terribly interesting abilities. I should have customized this further. Should have yoinked some abilities from other monsters. It was kind of a stand and bash fight. so it didn't end up being that interesting, but this monster was weakened a bunch because they had solved basically all the nightmares for the most part. So this creature was much easier to defeat. Had like Phantom Pain and Sleep for spells. Their most interesting thing is that they can steal a weapon and make it like float around, and I should have done that. I should have just like said that it creates a copy of like Fezgul's weapon that that Turkon was wielding. That's really what I should have done. But it's, you know, lessons learned. And again, probably should have given this guy some kind of ability that lets him move around a little bit instead of just getting surrounded in this small room. I could have had him like teleport over here and like raise a ghost weapon from the pile of bones. Ghost weapon could have been like enchanted in some special way, you know, could have been like an interesting weapon that he pulled out of the crowd. But all of that aside, you know, we had like 45 minutes to do this fight, so I didn't want to riff on it too much as it was going on. So the session ended with them defeating that monster and Mauritan breaking out of this egg with a screech and kind of hobbling out of this egg. And that's where we're going to pick it up on Saturday. So what now? Now we are going to fill out the session sheet describing that. So we're going to make a new session note here. Should have been over here, but that's fine. Session 16. Session number 16. The date is correct. Not March's Monsters. Should have named it something. I should have named this campaign Void or something. Minor optimization. If I had named it Void, I could just like type V and hit enter every time. But now, with Marches and Monsters, I have to type MO first. Come on. Why didn't I think of that? Anyway, so we don't need any of these scenes anymore. Entirely new set of scenes going on. We've covered basically everything in... Yeah, we've covered basically everything in the dungeon. So we don't really need the dungeon scenes anymore. We are going to open on those magical words that appear at the start of every one of these worksheets. We open on Mauritan breaking out of her egg. I'm actually... Here, we're going to describe this further. As you slay the manifestation of Nightmare, these dark phantom-like... Is that a descriptor? These dark phantom-like shapes. Let's see. It dissolves into these dark phantom-like shapes. And that scurry... to the wall and down the hallway. Out of sight. I know I said last time that I overwrite these descriptors, and I do. I broke it down into very small bullet points last time we were going through, but this time I just want to remember all of this. We don't need these here. We can actually break this down. So let me, I have an idea of what these are. I think we might have one more fight before the party gets out of here, but maybe not. Yeah, these creatures called night gaunts that another party has run into before. They literally feast on nightmares. So I'm just gonna bring these in, bring this through line kind of from the last campaign. It's an idea they've run into before. So night gaunts, they dwell in dreams, lurk in wait to spirit away the unwary dreamer. So they are in here feeding on Mauritan's emotions. Yeah. The other party thought they were kind of like benign, but it specifically is like, oh yeah, they like leave their victims in places where they'll never wake up again. So this is the artwork for them. They're pretty wild. They're kind of like Heartless plus plus in how they look. You know? They're just like this inky black kind of devilish shape. But they're not devils at all. They are chaotic aberrations from like the dream realm. Also, you might be wondering what... Sorry, Sentient Microwave. I'm super late on responding to you when I'm in like the recaps. I'm very in the recaps. I usually don't like pause to address chat as I'm doing the recap too much. You might be wondering what game would make me change my name to the Sentient Microwave. Is it a cooking game? No, the game was Cult of the Lamb. In my case, the Cult of the Microwave. I see. Was your god the microwave? Is that... The Sentient Microwave was the god in your cult? It's a good god. It's a good god. Keep you well fed. So, these night gaunts might attack them. Maybe they'll try to, like, toss them into the nightmare chasm. Maybe that'll be, like, the thing or whatever. Because they can grab. They have a tail attack of opportunity. With 10-foot reach. They can tickle. That's fucking messed up, man. If the creature is grabbed by the night gaunt, it uses the outcome 1 degree of success worse than the result it rolled. Okay. And on a failure, they're sickened. On a critical failure, they're sickened too. So their whole game plan is going to be... They're going to, like, attack in here for sure. They're going to attack in here. And they are going to try to grab people and toss them down here. So let's just see how many makes... how many night gaunts makes a good encounter for a level 4. The party's level 4, right? Right. Wow, this is severe, huh? 5 night gaunts then, maybe? That's an extreme encounter. What if one of them is weak? Then it's still extreme. We could make 2 of them weak. Yeah. We haven't done a fight with, like... We could do an even number. We could do 3 weak, or like 4 weak, 2 strong. That might be a bit much if they're all like trying to grab and stuff. We'll just... This is an even 120. We'll give them 3 strong ones, 2 runts. I wonder if there's any other... These have the dream tag, right? Yeah. Let me see if there's any other dream monsters around this level that we could bring in. Imaginary friend. Let's see. Petitioner. It's a bugbear, night terror. There's stronger stuff. They're like the animate dream, which maybe is what I should have used instead of the fucking night. Damn it. This would have been perfect. You would think called Endless Nightmare. This should have been... I didn't see this before. Heck. This would have been a much better boss. It's fine. What is this? Like a slow spellcaster? The same thing would have happened. Literally, it would have been the same thing, except they have a dimension door. They have dimension door and they have confusion, and you know they have some more effective spells, but they have less health. They have less AC, much less AC. This creature just would have died too. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Anyway, I think the move is just 5 Night Gaunts. It'll be like a little one note, but whatever. I think that is the move. This is the Shard of Aslan. This must be a nightmare-like person. Oh, it's a hag. It's just like a part of a hag. This frickin' scary thief thing. Okay, so nothing similar to the Night Gaunts. So we'll just leave the Night Gaunts as the main encounter. The weak ones we will go and flip their... These guys aren't. Yeah, okay. Flip their appearance. Let's see. Mirror image horizontally. Make them... smaller. Yeah. Cool. I think that's fine. It does feel a little mathy and gamey that, like, there's more strong ones than weak ones. So I'm a little tempted. I'm a little tempted to throw in another weak one. Like if I make 2 of them weak and then I add another weak one, that might make it balanced. But this is fine. So, nice collection of hidden Night Gaunts here. So, back to the description of the scene. So, dark phantom-like shapes. They scurry after they defeat the manifestation of Nightmare. Now, you see the same shapes clinging to Mauritan's eggs. Egg, whatever. As one wing, then the other. Let's see. Seer smash one shoulder against the egg. Then the other. A crack forms. Figures scurry away. Throwing her wings to the side. Let's see. Great force upward. Mauritan smashes through the top of the egg. Throws her wings wide. Powerful display does not last. She quickly... Let's see. Doubles over. Almost collapsing as she takes long, labored breaths. Her wide, piercing green eyes turn up to the party. Snapping to each in turn. It's going to be a very bird-like, just like very like quick, jerky motion. So then she pulls herself free of the egg. Starts slowly stomping. Stalking around the party. One heavy footstep. Every couple of seconds. Why do you not leave me to my rest, she will say. Why do you persist so? What do you want? And here, we're probably going to go over social encounter rules. Let's see. So. I left my water upstairs. I just realized. I don't even know if I'm going to take a break before I end stream. Guess I'll hydrate after. Guess it's coffee all the way down for now. Love that. Okay. Let's see. I almost even want to do these. Let's see. Yeah, so we'll go over the social encounter rules. You need a number of successes, says, to win. If you get a certain number of failures, Let's see. To win Mauritan over, let's say that. If you get a certain number of failures, Mauritan will make a decision that you might find bad. Time. Mauritan can also simply run out of patience, leading to a more neutral outcome. Let's see. I guess this is going over social encounter rules in general, so we don't need to talk specifically about Mauritan's like failure point here. Hello, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Thank you for the lurk. Enjoy the lurk. Hope you're having a good day. If you guys don't know, Obi-Wan Kenobi is also a streamer, an excellent streamer. And I recommend you go check them out. Let's see. If you get a certain number of failures, you can drive the target away. Some social encounters have an adversary also making arguments against you. This is not one of them, but worth noting for the future. Yeah, so Mauritan can also simply run out of patience, leading to a more neutral outcome. This is not against, let's see, what's the difficulty class here? Let's do Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight sounds great. What? How did that happen? Restream? Restream, don't you dare. Okay, let's see. So DC for level 4 is 19. I swear this was higher. Or I swear this was lower like 2 weeks ago, and then I looked at it this week and I was like, what the fuck? I was so confused. But that's fine. It's fine. Okay. So they have resolved Mauritan's nightmares. So the DC should be easier, but I don't really know where it started out. I actually kind of want to look up some social encounter rules. So we're going to say here the DC is probably like 19. Let's see. For me, let's put this in parentheses. base DC for checks here is 19. Oh, yeah. I haven't actually finished going over the encounter rules here. So let's see. Unlike making an impression or convincing or making a request, making a request. Skills other than this is a longer debate. Skills other than diplomacy can be used here. Can and should be used here. If you try to brute force with diplomacy every roll, let's see. Yeah, if you try to brute force with diplomacy every roll, the DC will get higher each use. Mitigated by things like changed arguments. Or other roles' abilities changing the situation. So, that's the important part. Note, the other roles still have to be relevant to the discussion. If you just flex your muscles at them without context, it probably won't go well. We'll even change this. We'll say it won't even warrant a roll. Let's see. Maybe 17 with interesting arguments, roles related to Mauritan's nightmares. So I'm thinking the total rounds... Total rounds 10? Success at 7. Failure at 7. So, again, I'm gonna have to, like, go look up social encounter rules, but this is kind of what I'm thinking, where, like, total rounds... you might have, like, 10 rounds before Mauritan runs out of patience. And if you get 7 successes, you convince Mauritan of whatever you want. If you, like, speed run 7 failures, then you push Mauritan away, and whatever happens there is probably pretty drastic. We'll think on that. But success probably means that Mouritan like literally joins them. A stalemate probably means Mouritan leaves and just flees. I don't think failure means that Mouritan is going to just go join the cult, but Mouritan might like start getting wrapped in nightmare again. It might just opt not to leave, or might you know, it depends on how bad things go, I guess. But depends on what they argue and how badly things go. So 7 rolls to come up with. Yeah, I'm really gonna have to look at social encounter rules, because it's not something I've run that much at all. And certain spells and things might give them instant successes. Don't really know. Don't really know. Seven's just a lot to try to change up their skills a bunch, though. Ow, ow, ow. Let's see. So, I might just have to help them quite a bit. Give them some advice, or like steer them in certain directions when they want to make certain rolls, if they're like, you know. We'll see. Let's see. And you can still aid other people's, you know, remember also that you can aid other people's checks. Even if you're not coming up with a specific argument yourself. Aid might be a good place to use skills and proficiencies that you can't find a direct argument for. Okay, there we go. So this is a bit of a long blurb, but it's fine. I'm fine with that. Oh boy, I'm running out of time a little bit. I just remembered there are some other scenes that we have to get to. So I'm gonna go look at social encounter rules on my own. The other scenes, the other check marks I need, check marks? The other check marks isn't the right word. The other, whatever. The reminders I need to write for myself. Let's see. When they fully leave the rotunda, something they can immediately tell Something is different. And Kalmacourt. Darker. You can see flickering shadows swarming around the gorge above. What light filters between the shadows say flickering shadowy figures. What light filters between the swarm of shapes is not the warm light of the sun, but I don't know, iridescent? Iridescent purple. I believe that's how I described the Seraph star before. This is essentially the star closing in. This is the last day before the Seraph arrives. Cilia asks if we all agree that this invader cannot let's see. Be allowed to sway the gods that rest here. She turns and starts to cast a spell. So Elle starts to chant. Vines start to grow throughout the tunnel, leading to the rotunda. Bendigan grasping at the rocks, the rock that makes up the tunnel. The rock walls of the tunnel. Squeezing. Forcing the tunnel to collapse. So, there's that. Short and sweet, I suppose. All hell's gonna break loose if they get to the city. When they get to the city, things are gonna get wild this session. I don't think they realized how close this Seraph was to getting here. I didn't have the chance really to foreshadow it further. As soon as they arrive in the city, well, in the city, let's say this. In the city, all is quiet. The siege has stopped. Well, I don't know that the siege has stopped necessarily. Well, all's quiet, tense. Windows are shuttered. The few in the streets are staring at the swarming shadows at the mouth of the gorge. As they navigate, the silence deepens. Even the hushed chatter around them stops. Bassy rumble. Shakes their bones first. Shutter rattles. A rock. Small rock nearby clatters across the ground. I don't know. Clatters is too loud, but you know. Let's see. Starts to shiver. I don't know. I don't know the words. I don't know the words I'm looking for right now. But starts to, you know, just like tremble, right? The rumble fills your ears. Shapes around the gorge part into a wide ring. Vibrant pink light shines down. You see the bottom of this massive stone or metal structure. Shape, really. Start to descend into the gorge. Big enough to scrape rock from either side of the gorge. Either side of the opening. And send it falling, tumbling. the ground below. The shape is mostly hollow. With spans connecting the different corners of the alien geometry. This is the most I'm gonna script any description in this whole campaign, I think. I'm not very good at coming up with this stuff on the fly. I would love to be better at that, and I don't know how you practice this exactly. Except maybe this, maybe just writing it, maybe bullshitting it. I don't know. I can kind of string things together, but it's with a lot of like ums and hesitation. But what I call this a dodecahedron, but I've been watching campaign 2 and it can't be a dodecahedron because the strange alien geometry in Critical Role campaign 2 is a dodecahedron. So, but that's the idea. It's like this basic geometric shape, but still like alien in some way. Yeah, little did the party know that Seraph was bringing a bit of a fortress with him. So there's that. Other things that might happen. A shining flying figure. Yeah. Let's see. Floats through the air toward the tower of the palace. Let's see. 3. We'll say the Seraph arrives. Just so I know exactly what this is. People shout and point. Perhaps 2 or 3 humans tall. But not immense. Slender. This creature's true shape. The first thing I thought of when I saw it was Slender Man, so I just... That descriptor makes me chuckle. That's a funny for myself. Slender, almost delicate. Two hands stretch out from the veil of its wings. I almost want him to say, like, something like be not afraid, but he literally feeds on fear, so that would be a little counterintuitive. Let's see. So maybe he would encourage it in some way. I don't know exactly what he's going to say, but... I don't think he would tell people not to be afraid. I think he would say something like, We'll see. I'll come up with the what exactly he says later. Come check it out on Saturday to find out. So there's that scene. The other scene that will definitely happen, but the party may not be privy to, depending on what they pick to do. I need to get the Dwarf King's name, but that'll do offline. Let's see. A group of human soldiers has surrounded the Dwarf King's entourage. One human on horseback. A crown upon his head. Let's see. Yeah, that's fine. We'll just put that there. Watch is on. A pair of soldiers grab the Dwarf King and push him forward. One kicks the back of his knee and makes him kneel. Holding his hair and pushing his head down. The other is pinning his arms to his back. Familiar old elf enters the ring of soldiers and approaches the human on horseback. Approaches the crowned human. Saying something. Ground human nods. Oh, let's see. They wear the colors of... What? What was the name of the human kingdom? Heck. S something. It's not Santallaria. It's... Sarosa. At his side, a dwarf. Black hair, black beard. Let's see. Dwarf on horseback. Black hair, black beard. Okay. Augustine. Alive again. So the familiar old elf is Augustine, someone they thought they had killed, but whose body had been retrieved. Though he looks pale, almost blue. Gaunt. Even more than before. His steps are uneven. Even at this distance, he looks unwell. In response to whatever he says, the crowned human nods and dismounts his horse. Then pulls his sword from the scabbard attached to the saddle. He approaches the Dwarf King. So again, we talked a few prep sessions ago about how the Human King is already in the pocket of the Unshackled and the Unseen Seraph. He's already a follower of the Unseen Seraph. He is staging a bit of a coup. He was brought in on this whole siege so that human forces could get into Montecalana and make the Seraph's takeover of this region easier. He is also being used to slay the current Dwarf King to put a puppet in place. Not so much a puppet, but just like a leader of another of the dwarf city-states in the mountains. So, he starts, grabs this sword and approaches the Dwarf King and starts essentially reading him his rights, or lack thereof, more or less. Starts saying things like, let's see. You were trusted to to represent the will of all of Monteculana's people. To keep their best interests at heart. Yet here you are. Accompanying Rurith. Let's see. King Rurith in tow. Let's see. Sharing our secrets with a ruler who is known in some lands as a power-hungry tyrant, a sycophant of the Four, who endeavors to unleash their rule upon us once again. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, that's roughly all that I need. Scripted, truly. Yeah, that's roughly it. There'll be like an exchange back and forth. I think Ruth's gonna interrupt and be like, King, I forget your name. King whatever, what are you doing? And then he's going to respond by saying like, Silence, Wizard King, I know... I know where your power lies. I know you would not risk your interests around the world by weaving your magic here, by stealing back your magic from your warriors to save this king. And then he would approach the dwarf, say something like, what have you got? What do you say for your crimes? And the dwarf is just going to say, maybe something really, you know, something like, I knew from the day I met you that you had none of your father's honor. Rotted out. Something like that. And then this king is going to effectively decapitate Dwarf King. This is all assuming that the party doesn't interrupt, and that's why I'm not scripting this much further, because it's possible that even this far it doesn't happen. So those are the main 3 scenes that are going to happen here. 4 scenes? Yeah, 4 scenes. So, they see something weird is going on. They probably go back to the city. And then the city is reacting to this weirdness going on. This rumble starts to happen. The strange alien geometry fortress starts to descend into the gorge. Sometime later, the Seraph arrives. And around that time, in the aftermath, I do want the party to witness this and have a chance to do something about this. But the execution of the Dwarf King happens, and the party can rescue the Dwarf King. The party can do whatever they want. So, all of that. So let's go on to our secrets and clues. The Seraph Star is already too close to stop. We're just gonna go ahead and delete that. That's super irrelevant. The Unshackled have an independent... Oh, you know what? I'm copying from the wrong secrets and clues. I was copying from session 14. I thought some of this stuff looked odd. Let's copy from session 15, shall we? So, one of the Guardian Naga witnessed the Four's arrival. That's fine. The Unshackled have an independent military cell. The Partisans, whatever. Don't need it anymore. Seraph's Comet will arrive before one night passes. This is over. Each land guardian was in charge of a different place of power. Each was made into a sanctuary guarded by... Yeah. Okay. Some undead have been attacking the devils, the Unshackled, the Moonflowers. We'll keep that in there. The Human King of Serosa was already an ally of the Unshackled. They could find this out this session before the Seraph arrives, before all this goes down. So we're gonna cut this. We're gonna put this actually like up here, because this could have big narrative. It would be very exciting, very interesting for them to learn this session. So we're gonna pop that up there. Many of the people created by the Four actually existed before their arrival. That's fine. World's mana still shackled by the ley line nexuses. The divine Naga that served the Four, the same as those referenced as guardians of the land. That is all fine. And then the hand and the unseen seraph work kind of for the same person. That's fine. Teresa's core, we'll move that back up. We'll get rid of number 11. So that leaves us one secret. One secret or clue. It's always tough. Always tough to come up with. Let me move session 15 over here real quick. Let's see. Ever since the first... Let's see. The first quake? I forgot. I had a name for it. Now I've forgotten it. Ever since the first quake, some creatures, mimics included, have been affected by a great, unsatiable hunger. Why would I add that? I wonder who we know. Who we know that might possibly have some kind of run-in with this or some kind of interaction with this. I'm determined to find some hooks to dangle in front of Stu. And, well, this will be one of them. I think Stu is not just randomly going to be afflicted by this hunger, but I think maybe they're going to run into a mimic who's not in good shape. It might be the cabinet. So weird to refer to characters that way, but that might be the plan. That might be the plan. So that is the one secret or clue that we're adding here. There's nothing huge that I want to like toss in here as a secret or clue. All of these are fine. Yeah, I think this is good. I guess the last thing I want to do. So we've talked about the social encounter. We've added a not so social encounter here. You know, we should probably set up some stuff, right? I can start deleting some things. We probably don't need the acolytes and apprentices anymore. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. But what we probably, you know, a thing we have a good chance of needing, let's call it, Seraphol. That's not a clunky name at all. Okay. So we need some, first of all, we need the Seraph. The base form of the Seraph is a Quellant, although he is a, like, super souped up version. We have to figure out which one of these is remake, or remaster versus old version, but he's a souped up version of a Quellant, but Tremor Sense. I don't know. I guess I could just look at... It's from Monster Core. You're from Bestiary. So this one is the remaster one. So we'll throw that one in there. So anyway, he's a souped up Quellant. He doesn't look like this because he's got this whole illusion going on. But that's, we might need some stats here. So that's the base for him. We need some human soldiers. Probably not the level 7 ones. We'll throw like the seasoned warrior, the efficient warrior in there. We should probably have a... Probably should throw the king in there. Where's the level 7s? Fighter, warrior. Where did I run into the level 7 ones? What was it? They're not coming up under fighter. They're not coming up under warrior. Soldier? Yeah, capable soldier. Call him brutal. Brutal soldier will be the human king. So, there is all of that. The other big thing that might show up next time, do we still just have... Yeah, we have Ruchalix. I missed the chance to have them fight just a single Ruchalik and have it be a big fight. But I still want them to throw down a little bit with a Ruchalik. A couple of them. I forgot it only takes them 10 minutes to copy a whole ass person. They have vision all around. Can't be flanked. They have telepathy, greater dark vision. This project terror is pretty great. You can sicken people that you've hit with spells. Yeah, so the Ruchalix might show up. I could cheat. I could cheat and make it an elite Ruchalik. We'd have to have that fight pretty soon, because it's only a +3, which is... I could make it a +3 with some hazards. I might do that. Well, I could find an advanced hazard to throw on the Giga Ruchalik. Guess I just have to pick one of these, huh? Call it Seraphic Ruchalik. I don't know what that means exactly. That's just a name to tell me that he is an elite boy, and I will modify him to be a bit stronger so I can have my Giga Ruchalik fight soon. I don't know where, I don't know how, but I want it. I want this Ruchalik to beat him up a little bit. Be a little bit scary. And then they'll fight like bigger and bigger swarms of them over time until they're just irrelevant. So they'll probably fight a few at level, and then they'll show up as minions in a fight where there's like a bigger monster. All right. With that done, with a few monsters selected who might show up, we've got some like devils and stuff too. I could pull out the Barbazu might show up. Some of these devils might show up. Cloaker we don't need. We got Bekai the Pious. He might show up. Kind of hope he does. Bunch of imps. That would be super funny. Just have a bunch of imps that the party gets to crush. 10 XP each. They could fight 12 of these and it would be a reasonable fight. So that could be a fun thing to do at some point. Throw a bunch of those down. Anyway, so that's where we're at. We are going to call the prep there. Like I said, I have a Zomboid to get to very shortly. So we're just going to go ahead and raid Voraktee, one of my players in my Saturday campaign. Also, kind of the original... part of the original formation of the Zomboid server. So I'm not going to stream Zomboid tonight. I am a goon. I just haven't streamed much Zomboid this season at all. I've still been playing, but haven't been streaming it. Probably come back and stream more of it next season. This season is ending in the next month or so. We got like 3 or 4 sessions left. So yeah. I might be here tomorrow. I might be on tomorrow to stream the Path of Exile League launch, the League starter. And that'll be fun. Might do that. I might just be in my Discord. If you want to hang out for that, you can hop into the Discord. And yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful end of your week, and I'll see you all again real soon. Goodbye!